Hello techies, I'm Divya here. On behalf of CyberBrainer, don't you think the world of tech is evolving faster than ever? Now is the perfect time to dive in and build the skills that will take you places. With CyberBrainer, we are putting you in the driver's seat of your own future. We at CyberBrainer don't just teach your interest. We believe that knowledge is power, but it's applied knowledge that truly sets you apart. Whether you're diving into data science, mastering artificial intelligence, or exploring the world of cybersecurity, our courses are designed to give you the skills that matter. So let's jump into the session and make the future yours today. Thank you.
Yesterday we were discussing, we were actually, in the time we were able to miss few things right. Just wanted to show you. I've taken a few screenshots which I'll show you based upon. See, when we access this edit 10 setup HCM, now which we were talking about this ID sequence generator section right. I'll show you that. Under the ID sequence, you'll get a lot of options. Under the column ID definition for candidates, like see candidate ID CNND1 203, right? There are codes and ID definition for pre-head. Let me zoom out. Are all these IDs auto-generated? They are ready. They created and kept actually. What happens? You know it will come according to that. What is the sequence we give? According to that, it will come. But however, I'll explain you in just a simple way. Creating IDs would be a HCM task. Not really, because this actually integration people, they will actually use this. But the code you see, client will ask, I want my candidate IDs to come from 1 to 0. From that, the candidate ID should be coming up. Let to next candidate 1 to air 1 to 0, 2, 2, 3, 1 to 0, fold. Like that it's coming. That sequence you know client will give actually. Even for pre-head, ID you see here. Let me show you. Pre-head, let's see here this. But this pre-head ID also, you see this A049, right? Like that, it will come. And I'll show you a few more screenshots also. And for employee ID also, they will give. I want the employees to be operating from this number particularly. The sequence should come from here. I'll show you how to create and do the things. And for contingent worker ID, the ID should come from here. It should come 5 pieces and 5 repeated. How many of candidates are joining based upon that? Like that. And for the job code, like job profiles, this code will come. And for position ID, automatically it should come from this number. That is what I do. And I go to the one which we are talking about. If you see down job requisition, right, you are able to see. What are the job requisitions we are creating? Lalit, when it should come. Bus job requisition. You can create ACL 3013, A420, 8015. How many ever be created in the tenant? It should come from this sequence, not before or other numbers. Same, it should come according to this. This particular screenshot is all about the sequence of IDs. Yes, just the sequence of ID client will give which ID should take. From that it will come. I mean, it will go on a sequence, shall we? It will need it to 34, 14, 16 like that. I mean, you see, we were talking about the candidate ID, right? ID definition for candidate ID. I will come to that point now, how to create that sequence. I think you can tell. See, this is, when we go ahead and see this candidate ID, when we go to that drop down, when we click on this drop down, we'll get actually to option of create ID definition or sequence generator. Then we can create ID definition or sequence generator, that option. Once we click on this, create ID definition or sequence generator, the next page will pop up, as I'll show you. Like this, it will come. The sequence we can give here, an increment sequence by ID, like it should increment by one, right? One we can give. And the other one, it will do down on the end. I mean, what should be the last sequence? ID. For example, we give one, ID, right? Based upon that, ID should come from 8011, 82, 1813, right? That sequence should go from that we will give. And what happens here? Example, is there, right? Here it will populate whatever the name, date of birth, I mean month, year here under the example, it will come to you. That will no need to configure or something. Just wanted to show you. Because instead of showing, when the candidate applies, he will automatically generate an ID, right? That's what this client set up. See, you don't need to go and set up any this notification marketing, nothing as such, but setting up how it will be there. I'm just showing. Automatically, it will be done. You're not going to do that because it will depend on the total tenant, right? See from scratch. If you do implementation, probably this planning phase, all these things will occur. But how are the sequence? Everything they will tell you. Even you get testing or implemented in. Whatever you can join initially, we get some opportunity. Whatever it is, you need to take up, right? That's it about this. I'm just closing this particular. Now this edit tenant setup notifications, how it looks. I'll just show you for recruiting how it's going to look. I just can show you for active vendors how it looks like that. I just want to just take in the screen. See, when you give any tenant setup notification, you'll be able to see a few things like the vault emails, email. Kavishna, could you please zoom in a bit? This one. Is that? It looks like this, and we are talking about recruiting, right? How it's going to look, I'll show you. Email complaints will be there, all those things. Enable reminders. For few settings, we can enable the settings. And once we go down, we'll get mobile app notification settings as well. Once we go a little further, we'll be able to see here absence management, adaptive planning alerts, business process, HCM. You are able to see right under down. Still further, if you go down, you'll get recruiting. Recruiting will be the option. I'll show you. Just we'll go to next page. Same on this. Then I'll show you. This page I'm just showing for you. Just still go. Actual page will come here, you see. A little bit I'll zoom out. A little bit more. Now we are selected in the page recruiting option because we are doing it for recruiting, right? Here the role will be setting as notification routing role for recruiting. Here it will be there automatically to the setup, the settings, how it is. And for active candidates, how it would have been, I'll show you. Just for your info. See for active candidates. Once you select this override parent notification type settings, you can give a notification routing role for only active candidates. You can set up that. I mean, it's easy for active candidates, right? This notification should go that you're just configuring. It will be automatically, they would have done it. If you want to see for recruiting marketing, you see, noting expression will work for recruiting marketing. It could have done like this. I'm not going to do that already. This parent permission everything they would have set up. If anything is missing out, you can select and give that out. Or 67988. That is what it is all about. The settings are not only to be there. If anything is missing out, you can check the tenant. Because sometimes, without knowing, we'll be able to do some few mistakes, right? Just, check. That is the reason. Just for your knowledge. That's it. Today, what we'll do is we'll create some prospects and we'll move those prospects to job application. And once the job application has been created, we'll move the candidate from right from the view to 35. That is what today's session will be. And the external career site is not working right for us. Yes, I can go over there and click the link and I can apply for my job. Then how can we apply now? Now I'll show you. That is the reason right today. I'm taking up the session. Few things you want to know about prospects, all those things. What I'll do is create prospect. Maybe country I'll give India. We are giving India, right? And we created some rule also in job application, right? But that should also work. We'll see that later. Just letting you. You see now our candidate ID has been created. 2. Under that prospect potential candidate. He might be a potential candidate, but yet not a candidate. I mean, he is not entering into job application, right? Once you know in the external career site, it will ask you a lot of details, right? Once we click on submit button, he will enter into the job application. This is right. Since we don't have that, I'm just creating a prospect. And I populate this Rajesh thing into our job application. How I'll do using. Now create job application. Actually, I would have shown that in external career site, but we don't know how to do that. Yes, I'm doing this way also. Candidate name Rajesh. And then you'll give in a job. Job day recruitment consultant. We'll search for us. See here. Recruitment. Before that, I want to check a few things before I go ahead. I have a few notes. I want to check up the supervisor. Everything is set up. Just for a safer purpose. Not to get any errors. That's the reason. I think we have used an example for Syria blank. We moved her from review to interview stage. But this is our topmost. I just wanted to go and see. Over those. Everything is just for separate because its roles are not done properly. No, the DP will not execute. What are the roles we created? That should be all in here. And hopefully, we have everything here. I think one of the somebody has given stats. I'm going to remove. I don't want this to be. Manager is that recruiter is. We already created the position. Just checking actually. Now the job application. We have to give you details. Maybe LinkedIn. Maybe LinkedIn. I think we'll get. See the difference you see. When we created the prospect, it was showing us a potential candidate. But now you see candidates 1226. That's 01. 501 schemes work. The recruitment It is showing. Now we can go to the job. We can go here. Go. I am going to ask you one question. In the you will be able to see what is the position. What is the super easy organization? You know compensation grade. Look up job posting location. All those details will be there. You see what other details. Here under the candidates, you are able to see go. I think you're right. You're right. And I'll tell. Can you repeat the question once? There's much CV already. I made one prospect of the candidate. I just seem to be applying for this job. Once he applies directly. Ideally, the candidate should come to review state right. Why is going to the second step called? Because we have created the job application prospect. Yes, that's the process. You might have given while creating it. It will go to. We set up 3 rules. I explained to 3 futures right. Automatically decline job applications. And automatically I don't start to claim candidates on future. I explained you right. Ideally, the candidate should come to directly see interview question. Job application. What is the people? State candidate will come. Answer is revisited. But here the candidate is not coming to revisit. Why I'll show you. Job application. This is testing. This is called testing. Now we are done one testing. I'll let you know. What is that testing? What is that testing? We are done. What is that? We are done that day. Maybe day before yesterday. A few dynamic definition. How to create rule. We go at that right at the bottom of the page. We go down. What is the rule we had given? If it is an India candidate, you can move forward. What it has done directly? It is sending automatically descending right. Our rule testing is working here. If you would have put it review, it would have been in the review stage. Yes, of course. If I would have put a C, just a little. Pause the person. Next steps I given as phone screen right. See here. If I would have given interview, it would have went to interview. What are the steps available here? Based upon that, I would have selected interview. That would be from right. Absolutely. As we had created a rule because if it is an India candidate, it will be like it will go to next step automatically. We didn't do anything right. We didn't send the candidate to phone screen. But how we had made a condition rule? We created a rule. Please explain this in the interview. Suppose we give them. Now, whatever jobs we have created under this supervisory organization, this rule will be applicable. Absolutely. If you cancel this, it will not apply. But I just wanted to show. See, for example, one more rule will be given. See, we give country India. It is taking up. We given, if it is country Japan, you go and give it will auto. We'll test it out. It will just pull the candidate because we'll test it out. We'll see how it's going to work. Actually, we have done it. I think assessment stage or something. We'll just check it out. We have done that in the assessment stage for possible disposition. Probably this testing you can do. Actually, you can. You will get to know. See a country Japan idea. Step country Japan. Let me show you. You take a prospect. Not first time. First testing you do normally, you send the candidate to ready for them. And then next candidate while testing, you take a candidate from country Japan. And you try to move the candidate. I think it's in the stage of assessment. If the candidate is not meeting the job or if it is, it will be automatically declined. If it is candidate from PAN, that is a testing. One more testing. You can do that. Why I'm not doing? Because you should do that, you will get a knowledge of those things. That is what. Candidates in. See, actually hiring managers currently. Our recruiter is also currently over. It is not showing. It will show here in the real time. Who is the recruiter? I'll take up the recruiter action and I'll proxy another recruiter and I'll take action on this candidate. Now anyway, we are in the caroling recruiter because already I go. And since recruiter is currently only because to reduce the time I given to take, reduce the risk actually. I just selected this thing. Now, I just seen he's in the screen right. We can just go on. We can click on this also. Now he is in the screen. You just move forward to take him to the next stage. We'll get out. Can you please let me know why I'm getting only 5 options? Assessment, interview, offer environment. I think that I'm not ready for hire anything. Any guess? This month. Can you repeat the question? I want to move this candidate to for ready for hire. That's the scenario. I am not able to get the step forward. Any guess, any idea? Because in the sub stages we have given it in an order, right review. No, the possible steps we didn't give. See, I'll show you. Edit dynamic definition. Now we are in the screen stage, right? We didn't configure the automatic stage routing. No, not that. I'll show you just a moment. I'll show you. We can use same. He is in the phone screen. Or Rajesh is in the screen. We are getting only 5 options like possible. Next step. See you. It is because we haven't designed for assessment interview offer because whatever we give, that tool only populate here. Suppose you want to send a candidate for ready for hire. You cannot send the candidate because you didn't give the possible next steps. That is what you can send only candidates. If you move the candidate to interview and then you move forward from there, you can see ready for hire. I think because we have that is possible. If you would have designed it, you would have designed it. That is possible. We'll see that interview. It is there. The BPs will automatically trigger. You see, now whenever I'm sending the candidate to each and every step, each and every BP will automatically trigger in all the steps, whatever we given in the BP. 100%. It will execute. I mean to say, assess candidate initiated, as you know, the person who had sent to next. Some review screen. That person will be the engine, decision maker. Suppose that candidate is in a review state. Recruiter is sending the candidate to on screen. Then recruiter would be the initiative who are taking the final decision at that particular stage. Review screening assessment. He might be manager, might be recruiter or HR. Complete question. We are taking to the next step that we have designed in the C. One figure question. We are getting right. Whatever it is. And we are getting. It is executing actually. We can give. Please provide the name and contact information for 3 reference. Like that. Whatever. Candid questions we given that will actually come. You can do actually. Are you actually interviewing for any other opportunity at this time? Or leave the earliest that you have a little bit of an environment. You can view and you can submit. Or take candidate. Because candidate has self-security. That means it will go to candidate. We can come back to see the question. I have a quick question. Suppose if the candidate has to do the assessment through some third-party vendor and the recruiter would send the link to the candidate, and would that also be an integration? No, actually no. What happened? This third-party people, they will be in coordination with the candidate. They will send the test link to the candidate and they will send each and everything. They will get the results and they will send it through the integration. Once they get integration, based upon that recruiter, what happens? What is the once you have time? He just simply will give and make it fast. And he will move the candidate to next possible step or he will decline. Based upon that, that's a simple. Candidates. Again, candidates. He wants you. And I just sing. Assessment. Assessment is. We can click on that here. And we can move forward. Or else we'll click on C and we'll see. Or about worker. We'll send it to interview. That's it. Here we know. Only first. There's no assessment decision we have taken. We go to the interview. What is the step? You see. Schedule interview. I have a doubt when you're scheduling the interviews. You would have 2 rounds of interviews or 3 rounds of interviews, right? No, I'll show you how it is. Now I'm going to leave the interview. But this candidate, I clicked actually. I will take action. Twin will continue. Is it clear that there are 2 codes for recording? Recording, otherwise that would be clear. Krishna sincere way, don't want to insert. I'm just clicking once again on the candidate. I'm just clicking one again schedule because it went off. Again, we have to do right from the beginning. I'll select the date. Usually they'll give the particular today's data. Interview would be fairly. De-erosion would be like 60 minutes. Intertype. Intertype will be in person. Competence is like all competence. Accessing talent. What if it's a Zoom call or something? Because in the option it's given only one, as in person. What if you want to? Ideally, we should get 3 options over here. In the type and in person. We call the option. I'm not sure why it is not. Is this design and the implementation phase? Because I didn't restrict anything on the interview type. Also, you can see everything I shown you. I mean, it is not sure. And we can add any questioners, anything you want, to the question. Additional. You can attach and you can give next. What would the task be for implementing the schedule type, the interview type? How do we do it? It might be a video called face to face, and another will be telephony. What would the task be for if you have to create the types of interviews? No, we were not. We don't need to create actually. I think interview types. I was shown right. The task, maintain interview schedule settings. Interview schedule maintenance. They made it inactive. Right. Got? No. Good point. You raised because I was also thinking how come I seen that. See when we are having this session 2 to 10 before we are. It happened right that time somebody, somebody is going and taking it to net. We'll see now. Once you click on this now, we can use this all the places. That is the problem. We can give next. Proposed interview scheduled. Subject line interview projection, candidate 1 to 2, 6, 4. I mean, it will give us a subject and then submit anything. We want to upload anything. And we can use some. All intelligence. Maybe back. I'm just doing the interview. I didn't give you a damn. You're listening 60 minutes. I feel like on. See, the time is coming. Coming here. You are subject. I'm going to be looking for. That's it. Again, we will go back to. How about? Check the babies. The news. Like feedback. We'll go to our candidates. Candidates. Now we are opening this. We are done with the interview. We, we should do the interview. Or we can cancel the interview. We should know, but in real time, the recruiter will be doing all this right. Moving the candidate from one stage to other stage. One stage to another stage. Recruiter only now. Our recruiter is Caroli only. I didn't give other recruiters because I don't know if you're going to do it. I think this tenant. For example, Logan. I'm not sure. I selected each and every. How does this work? I mean, recruiter. You need to proxy in. You need to proxy. I need to say. Recruiter is a person who will be taking up the actions on the candidate, whether candidate is selected or not. He'll be knowing right based upon the feedback. He will actually move the candidate to next step. You need to know when we do testing and what happens. You need to proxy as a recruiter. And you need to submit the candidate. If you go in as somebody else and you move the candidate, it is not possible. I mean the interview feedback, you will get it. Once you get feedback, you are to move the candidate for next step. I mean to say, in this case, would we get a ticket and you work on it? What happens? We will get actually the key parts. Based upon that, we will move the candidate. You will get an email or some notifications. Based upon that, we need to take up the action. At every stage, you will be getting notifications and you will proxy in as that particular recruiter. And then you move the candidate. Every step will get the notification. Each and every step. And on behalf of them, you would be moving the candidate for them, right? Because see if it is testing what happens. We need to proxy in as a recruiter and we will move the candidate. Because the recruiter will be the person who can only take the action. Everybody cannot go in as a. But this is in the testing phase. What? If it's gone, live and live, then recruiter will be going there and taking action. Or manager also can take action. Good. At that point, if you are in that maintenance of the project and if they have some issues, that is when they would raise a request and raise a ticket or something, and that would come to us and they would fix it for them. See what happens when it is in the production and we don't move much into production. Our leader will be taking care of each and everything, editing more capacity tasks, and she will be moving into production. Ours will be like testing and implementation. And if it is production, she will be taking that to ask you things. Any issues are coming because even you do a single mistake which will impact the current life. Those will be taken care of. But however results they will get, based upon that, they will send an email and they will fix it. Now, whatever you are teaching, this is all under the production phase. You got it. Maybe I got it. Initially you need. No, not like that. Initially you will not get production and a lot of things, moving from one parent to another. Like see, we test. We do implementation. We tested and we do to again sandbox for that. This sandbox, it will work for 1 week. Again, then we need to move into production. Any mistakes are happening, it will impact the tenant. Those are sensitive issues. There will be one document takes planning which client will be given actually some document based upon that. They need to give one format and my lead will prepare and share it to the customer as well. And they need to approve it. And we need to go any. When you have some time, can you explain us how it goes from fraud to testing and that cycle? Can you please explain us? Yes. What I do is how the tenant will work. Few things I will work. Sorry, I will explain. Maybe next week, Tuesday or Wednesday. I'll take 15 to 30 minutes of session in my tenant. How it works? Maybe that helps a lot. And when you go into real time, what happens? They will give you a structure. What is that? And what is the sandbox? And what is the implementation? And a lot of things they'll give. Based upon that only, we work on the testing. Every organization, they have their own footsteps. They have their own implementation. They have their implementation. Suppose I have a role of the certified recruiter we created here in this. They already created. It will be a little bit different from one company to another. That role. And a few, for offer letters and all the roles they already created. By using that proxy, only we can go and, give that option of setting the offer letter or rolling out the offer letter. Not good for each and everybody. Got. I mean to say that it happens. That is what is real time. Just moving into things. Thank you. We'll be taking the interpretation like going forward. We can move that. And it took. The next stage would be offer right. When it goes to the office stage in real time, the compensation would be team would get a notification. They will be. They are the important persons, doing all those things, all these steps, whatever this, what do we say? The steps which we included. Let's put. Use the offer. These are all the steps which we go to compensation team, proposed compensation offer request, one-time payment offer request, stock grant, and finally, operation. Once the compensation partner takes action on request one time, then it will go to the next group for the next step. See here, these are template-driven business process. Click action. We are to give target high tech and we will give the rest of the thing. Are these templates work? They delivered. Absolutely. Once we click on next, see here, now we'll see compensation. Usually you know what happens here. You will get default option, everything it will come. Populate based upon the job profile, only everything it will come. But, however, in this I think we need to give a survey. I've worked on this. I think it will be one lab. Automatically it will come. We know it took you and think that's the advantage. Because compensation team will be knowing like what is it? One time payment. We won't be doing all those things. We'll go to that. Obviously they will take a bad. Once this action is completed, we'll get the notification and then we can move forward with the next possible step. Correct? Stock grant also. They will give some clicking. Packages. This kind of errors in real time, we won't get that. Everything will be auto, popular based upon job profile, only if it's select each and everything. We are getting for review compensation of the market up. We'll move the standard further. I have a quick doubt. Can you just stay on the same page? For the other two candidates, it's showing reassigned. What happened that day? We did a job. Application was not designed right. And VPs are not designed. Once any wrong thing. Anything is not assigned correctly, like VPs, a job application, it will show reassigned. Again, we need to go back and check each and everything. Once we fix those errors, each and everything, then we have to be correct. Got employment increment. Employment increment. Will I wish? Now I have a doubt. The job application VPs. The VPs are designed from review to ready to hire stage, and at every stage review, if you do this, you'll move on to the next step. And phone screen, if you do this, you'll move on to the next step. But there are certain cases where you would want to move the candidate from review stage to maybe say, like you want to bypass some of the sub stages. Let me give a sense. You want to. No, see, suppose you are in the review stage, you can move the candidate to directly to offer also. That time, that possible steps you would have designed in maybe job application. Then you will get the option. I may answer your question. I am able to understand, but I will definitely work it in the tenant and see test it myself. I'll get clarity on that. We can do next option. Please, if we can. These are all related to insurance. We will just approve it. It's because the VP wasn't designed properly. No, without design properly, we will see. Else step will not explain. There is an action step that says approval, and that's the reason it's taking us to this page. It might be. We will move the candidate for the next session. We don't use the thing. Are you saying something? I didn't get you. We don't use. We don't use the thing. We will get to know the background check options. We can select according to the customer. We need to select simply what are the. Is it possible to design it in such a way that certain job profiles they have, they can undergo certain background checks? No, actually, that they would have designed. Actually, what are the background checks? They have internal checks. I mean, a lot of things will be there. 15, 20 also. I don't know how to design this, but once I click the drop down, I'll get the options in real time. We will select those things. Those things will be mentioned. No use of that. For internal candidates, sometimes we skip the background check. More internal models. Something optional. That will take up often and we can do the candidates. External, however, they will tell. Ideally, here we are not getting much options, but in real time we get a lot of options. We've only 3, 4 like 15, 20, more than 20. We can give completed. I mean, what is the status? We have to. We are all testing. I've seen the candidate is in the middle of the next question. I said we send the candidate for ready for the night or work will be almost finished. What you can do is you take one candidate and do testing. And the other features like see, for example, one candidate is already selected for job developer position. And we got selected same candidate, same job. Because we can create multiple job applications. For recruitment, same project, we can get another job reputation. In that case, if you move the candidate, he is already going to ready for the IOP. What happens? It will not automatically decline for the other job applications. Those testings and all you do it. And we created one role saying that for Japan candidate, the candidate should be declined. Those tests and all you do. You do that research that you will get to know a lot of things. Please do like, share and subscribe to our channel.